So Agat, did you go through each and every point, or still you have any doubts in this?
Yes, Vijay. Actually, I have a query related to the reference table that we are discussing, yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
When we create a reference, table, like
Mm.
we do have parent and child table, right? So
Yeah.
let's suppose if we modify anything on the child table, does it affect in any way to the parent table as well?
No, no, it is not affected.
Okay, so if I change anything on the parent table itself, then the changes will apply onto the child table as well.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So yesterday what we discussed it? Yeah. So today we need to discuss about the remove rows, right? In the remove rows, in the remove rows, the first option is remove top rows. What is remove top rows will do? That means from the top onwards, how many rows you want to remove it, you have to mention the number. That means it is quite opposite to the keep rows is called as remove rows. Okay. That means in the keep rows, from the top onwards, how many rows you want to see it, those many rows you can see it. But in remove rows, what will happen is from the top onwards, how many rows you want to remove it, that you have to mention like this. See here. See here. Here you need to give the numeric value. Suppose I'm giving a 7 here. That means from the top onwards, these many number of rows only it will be removed. That means 7 rows are removed. Remaining rows you can see it. Understand clearly or not? Okay. That means remove top rows means from the top onwards, whatever number you are given in the text box, based on the those many rows will be removed. Understand? Next one is remove bottom rows. What is that? Remove bottom rows. In remove bottom rows, what will happen from the bottom onwards? Those many rows. How many number? Whatever number you are given, that those many number of rows it will be removed. Understand? From the bottom onwards, those many rows it will be removed. Suppose here the number of rows is I'm giving 8 here. That means from the bottom onwards, these many. That means 8 rows will be removed. Remaining rows we can see it. Understand or not? Next one is remove alternative rows. Alternative rows means one after the other rows will be removed. See here. If I click on this one, from where we can start it? From how many number of rows you need to remove it? How many number of rows you want to see it? By using this option, you have to implement this one. Understand? That it is called as remove alternative rows. Okay. So next one is remove duplicates. Remove duplicates means that means in a particular column, in a particular column, what whichever values are whichever value is repeated more than one time. Suppose in a segment column, government is repeated more than one time. Okay, that means whichever values are repeated more than one time, those values make it as only one value. That means though how many number of times it is repeated, but it will shows only one value. Okay, that means when you apply the remove duplicates, it will show the distinct values of that particular column or unique values of that particular column. Remove duplicates is nothing but it will it will show the distinct values of that particular column or unique values. That means one value only it will shows it. Suppose I'm selecting a segment column and click on remove duplicates. When you click on remove duplicates, see here it will in that particular segment column whatever unique values are there, those only it will be displayed. Understand, Swagat, Santosh, and Ajit?
Yes, Vijay.
Santosh, is it clear for you? Okay. Next one is remove blank rows. What is remove blank rows will do? Let's see with example. Okay. Suppose for example, suppose I have a values like this 1, 3, 4, 4, 5, and like this it will be there. So in this particular column itself, there are some blank values. Blank is nothing but here in Power BI, null values are also we can consider as a blank only. Okay. So if it is null values are like this, it will be there. Those we can call it as blank values. Okay. That means in a particular column, if any blank values or null values are there, if you want to remove those related rows, then you have to use an option called remove blank rows. See here, then what will happen after removing blank rows? What values it is shown here? 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. See here, like this. Understand clearly? This is how the remove blank rows will option will works. Next one is remove errors. Remove errors means if there is any error rows are there, if you want to remove those rows, then you have to use an option called remove errors. Okay. So again, I'm entering in one error related rows. So let's see how it will work. Suppose I have like this. See, this particular value, it is an error. See, hash n by a, because hash n by a doesn't recognize it by Power BI. So that's the reason. If any value is like that, it will be there means then immediately it will throw an error. Okay. So if there is any error rows are there in that particular column, if you want to remove those error rows, then you have to use an option called remove error. See here. See that particular error row will be removed. Not only one one row, if there is a multiple error rows are there, those it will be removed. Understand? So like this, if you want to remove the error related rows, then we have to use an option called remove errors. Understand? Like this. Next one is sort. If you want to sort any particular column, there is a two options are there, right? You know what is sorted below? Either ascending order, you can, or else descending order. That means select that particular column, and after that, if you want to sort a particular column means in any of the option, either ascending or descending order, we can sort that particular column. That means ascending order means lowest to highest. Descending order means highest to lowest. Okay. You already know it. Okay. But if you want to arrange your, if you want to, if you want to sort your column, okay, select that particular column, you have to use any of the option, either here, this option, either ascending order, descending order, you have to use it. Or else another way also we can sort that particular column. Okay, what is that means? In a column there is a drop down is there or not? Okay, in a column there is a drop down is there. For this particular drop down, when you click on this drop down, you will have an option called sort ascending or descending. Okay, by using this also, this option also, you can sort that particular column. Understand clearly? Okay. So this is how we can sort a particular column. Understand? Next one is split a column. What is split column will do? That means if you want to split a particular column into multiple columns, that means one column value will be split into multiple columns. Then you have to use an option called split a column. If you want to split one column into multiple columns, in that column, must and should we have to use a delimiters. What is that you have to use? Delimiters, or we can call it as special characters. What is delimiter and what is special character? That means in your keyboard, except numerics or except character values, whatever it is there, whatever it is there, that we can call it as, okay, so those we can call it as special characters or delimiters. That means in your keyboard, except numeric and except character, what values will be the question mark, at the rate, not equal, and bracket, space. Even space is also a delimiter. This point is very important. Everyone will forget this option. Space is also a delimiter. Okay. So whenever, so in your keyboard, there are n number of delimiters are there, like not equal to, at the rate, hash, dollar, percentage, okay, ampersand, star, bracket, comma, colon, and single quotes, double quotes. These are all we can call it as delimiter or special character. That means if whichever column you want to split it into multiple columns, in that particular column itself, at least one delimiter is required. Okay. If it is the delimiter is there, with the delimiter, we can split the column into multiple columns. We can split the column into multiple columns. So let's see what type of data will be there. So in real time, what type of data we can split it. Suppose, for example, you have address column is there, right? Address column. In the address column, your pin code is there, in mandal is there, district is there, and house number is there, and your father's name. Everything is there in that address column, right? So in the address column, what is the delimiter we have to use it there? What is the delimiter we have to use it in the address column?
Comma,
Swagat?
comma.
Hyphen,
Yeah,
hyphen.
yeah, comma, hyphen, or something. See, most of the times we have to use comma, right? So most of the times we have to use comma. Okay. So or else sometimes we are giving space also. Okay. By using space also, uh, we can write the we are maintaining address column, right? At that time, that means if any delimiter is there in that particular column, based on the delimiter, we can split it into multiple columns. Suppose Vijay, I didn't have any delimiter. Can we use at that time, if the delimiter is not there, can split column will works? No, it won't works. Okay, if delimiter is not there, then we cannot use the split column option. Okay, if after using also, nothing will happen. Understand clearly? So that's the reason, if you want to split any column, in that column must and should require a delimiters. Understand? So let's prepare address column so that we can decide.
Vijay,
Yeah.
Vijay, let's suppose we have blanks, null values, on a multiple columns, and if I wanted to apply, remove null values from all the columns or rows, it gets deleted everywhere, or is it like only those cells will be
Now,
removed?
whichever column you are selected, in that column only the null values will be there, not other related columns and
Okay,
everything.
but let's suppose we have one column with the ID and
Mm.
the other one with the name.
Okay.
And in the ID section, we have null values, and we have data against the null values on the name column.
Okay.
Let's suppose if I remove the null values from the ID, does the data from the name column also gets deleted?
Yes, deleted. That means whatever column you have selected, that is the first point. Okay.
Okay,
In
okay,
column, in that column, whatever null values or null rows are removed, that means the similar rows will be removed for other columns also.
okay. So the complete row gets deleted,
Yeah.
row or column,
Complete
like
row will be
any.
deleted. Complete row will be deleted.
Acha, the complete row or column, anything, any which ways the complete row or column gets deleted.
Not column, the row will be deleted. That means whichever column is selected, okay, that is the first point.
Uh-huh.
After that, when you apply the remove blank values, okay,
Okay.
then
Uh-huh.
what will happen in that particular column, whichever column you are selected in that column, wherever the null values are there, those particular row, complete row will be removed. That means in another column, whether the data is there or whether the blank values are, that doesn't matter. But in
Okay.
that
Okay.
ID column, whatever null values are removed, those related rows, whatever it is there in the other columns also, that it will be removed.
Okay. And so actually, can you give me the scenario where we can use remove null values? Like, let's suppose I have loads of data
Mm.
loaded into the Power BI Power Query, and
Mm.
there are like different null values on all the columns, like
See,
all the columns and.
suppose, for example, see, when you show the data to the business, okay,
Uh-huh.
in the
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
visual format, what will happen? So wherever the values are there, those values it will be shown. Wherever the values are there, it will shows the blank values, right?
Yes.
Immediately, business people is asking that why you are showing the null data, okay? In
Okay.
place of null, they want to put something like XYZ or like that. Okay,
Okay.
instead
Uh-huh.
of showing the null values, because the business people doesn't like the null values or infinity values like this. Okay,
Okay.
they want in place of null value, they want to see it like empty. That
Yes.
means if it is empty, then they are considering like there is no data, and they are looking with why there is no data in that particular rows and everything. They are investigating and include the values into that particular empty values. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So
Got it.
whenever you have the null values are there, at that time, if you show it in the visualization, business people don't want to see the null values. Instead of null values, they want to see it in the blank. That means empty,
Understood.
nothing.
Understood. Understood.
At that time, we have to use it, right?
Okay, okay, got it. So it basically very much useful while doing the visualization part.
Yeah. While all this data we are doing representing in the visual format only. Okay.
Okay, okay, got it.
In a proper way, we can represent in the visual format only. At the time of the business people or stakeholders are seeing this one, they
Mm-hmm.
want to see the proper data. So for
Okay,
that, in this transform data itself, by using different options, we can modify the data. Okay.
got it. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So in this address column, see if it is address column is like this, in that how many delimiters are there here or how many special characters are here there here itself? Santosh, in this particular address column, how many delimiters are there and what are those? Or special characters? How many special characters or delimiters are there in this particular column? Santosh?
4,
Sorry?
4 commas.
Comma is the one. Okay. Another one is
That 3 after is in a dash.
dash. These two only the delimiters is there. Okay. Right. So in this particular address column, these are the two delimiters you see this particular column, right? So whichever you want, on which delimiter you want to split it, you have to choose it. Okay. So but for my requirement, I want to choose a comma as the delimiter. With that comma, I want to split it into multiple columns. Okay. So for this, select this particular column and you have to use an option called by delimiter. When you click on by delimiter, okay, here this part you need to select as a delimiter. Okay, this part you need to select as a delimiter. Suppose if you click on this particular drop down, you will see some default delimiters are there. Okay, 5 or 6 delimiters they will provide it. So beyond this, beyond beyond this delimiter, if you want to use it, suppose I want to use a question mark. The question mark related, is there a delimiter here? It is there? Not there, right? So that's the reason. How can I give the question mark? Or how can I give the hash? How can I give the at the rate? Like these type. That means these are the default delimiters is there. Beyond this delimiter, if you want to give any other delimiter means you need to choose custom delimiter. Custom. Okay. So when you select a custom, below the text box, you whatever delimiter you want to give it, you can give it. Either even comma also you can give it, even space also you can, whatever delimiter you want, you by selecting a custom, and here in this particular text box itself, you can give your own delimiter here. Okay, once you give the delimiter, below that split at option is there. In the split at option, there are three different options is there. There are three different options: leftmost delimiter, rightmost delimiter, each occurrence of the delimiter. Okay, leftmost delimiter means, what is leftmost delimiter? Leftmost delimiter means okay, that means in a particular cell itself, from the left, in each and every cell, from the left side of character, in each and every cell, from starting character onwards, wherever the comma it will find, wherever this delimiter, whatever delimiter is mentioned here, wherever the delimiter is fine, up to that it will be split into one column, remaining complete part will be split into another column. See how it will work. That means I'm selecting leftmost delimiter and click on OK. See, that means here in the from the left, see, this is the first cell. In this first cell, from the left side onwards, wherever the first comma is there, here this is the first comma, right? So that means up to that it will be there in one column. remaining complete part remaining complete part will be there in another column. That means the other commas it won't check, only the first comma only it will check it. Wherever the first comma it will find, that it will be split into one column, remaining part it will be split into another column. Understand clearly or not? Okay, this is how we can do this one. Suppose if you choose, see, in the same option itself, because in the applied step we can edit that particular step or not. So if you want to edit that particular step means that, you see, this is an option we are applying, right? Split column. Okay, if this split column step contains setting icon is there or not, it will check it. If the setting icon is there, that means that particular step is editable. Okay, that means When you double click on that one, okay, again that particular window will open here. So you understand what is leftmost delimiter. So right now, that means I'm changing it to rightmost delimiter. When you choose the rightmost delimiter, what will happen in each and every cell from the right side onwards, wherever the first comma is there, that it will be split into one column, remaining part will be split into another column. That means what values are coming in the first column, remaining part will be split into another column. Can anyone tell me? Swagat?
Sorry, Vijay, I missed your question. Could you please repeat it?
Rightmost delimiter means from the right side onwards, wherever the first comma is there, that it will be split into one column, remaining part it will be split into another column, right? So when I'm choosing rightmost delimiter,
Uh,
what values are comes in?
uh, the last pin code will be removed from the address too, and it will be shown into the next column, right side of it.
Yeah, see here, that means the pin code part will be there for one column, remaining complete part will be split into another column. See here, like this. Understand clearly, like this. Suppose if you select each occurrence of the delimiter, what will happen? Each occurrence of the delimiter means wherever the commas are there in that particular cell, wherever the commas are there, those many values are split into multiple columns. Okay, that means see here, if you click on OK, see 3-2222, after that there is a comma value is there. Okay, so that means that part will be split into one column. See, contum is an, after contum there is a comma is there, that means contum is in one column. Like that, wherever the comma we can find it, those values will be split into multiple columns. Understand or not? Okay, is it clear or not? Santosh, Swagat, Ajit.
Yes,
Yes, Vijay.
Vijay. Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
that
sir.
means Vijay, I have a doubt here itself. That means every time we are splitting into columns, right? Can we split it into rows? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Not only columns, we can split the columns or split the values into row wise also we can split it. Vijay, how we can do that means, see, while you are applying the split by column option, okay, so double click on, see here, so while you are applying a split by column option, okay, when you select a by delimiter, here below that there is an advanced option is, you know what is delimiter is there and what splitted option is there, you know, right? And below that there is an advanced options is there. In the advanced option there are two options are there, columns and rows. Okay, by default columns are selected. That's the reason by default it will be split into columns. If you want to split it into rows means you have to select rows option. What is that? What is that? You have to use rows option. Okay, so after, so you have to use rows option here. Okay, if you click on rows here, then click on OK, then automatically it will convert it into rows itself like this. Okay, whichever, or else in the same step itself, if you want to apply it means you can do this one, double click on that one, there is an advanced option is there, and I want to split it into rows, then select the rows and click on OK. See, then automatically in a single column itself, it will be split into rows and it will shows in a single column itself. Understand clearly, Swagat, Santosh and Ajit? Okay,
Yes, Vijay.
this is very important option.
Yes.
So either sometimes in real time, we have to use either in a split it into columns or we can split it into Also we can do that one. Understand clearly? So this is how we can use an option called by delimiter. Next one is by number of characters. What is by number of characters? Means when you click on this by number of characters, here in this text box itself, you have to give the numeric value. You have to give the numeric value. So whatever numeric, that means whatever number you want to give it, you can give it like 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, anything you can. Based on that, it will be selected. Suppose I'm giving 4. So after giving the number here, in the splitted also option is there here. Okay. In this, whichever option is required, you have to. Suppose I'm choosing left as possible. Then what will happen? From the left side onward, wherever the first 4 characters are there, that it will be split into one column. Remaining complete part will be split into another column. Is it clear or not? Okay. Next one is right as possible. When you select right as possible, what will happen? From the right side onward, first 4 characters will be split into one column. Remaining complete part will be split into another column. Understand? Suppose, for example, see here, if I'm selecting right as possible, then what will happen? From the right side onwards, wherever the first 4 digits are there, that it will be split into one column, remaining part will be split into another column. Okay. If you want to select a repeatedly means for every 4 characters, it will be split into multiple columns. See here. See, every 4 characters it will be split into multiple columns. Understand? This is how we can do. If you want to split the rows means in advanced option, you can select a rows here. Then automatically it will split it into rows here itself. Understand clearly or not? Okay. Next option is by position. This by positions that we can discuss it in tomorrow's class, because today we need to discuss about the demo class for Santosh as well as Swagat. Okay. And one more thing is here I'm preparing a documentation. The documentation